Welcome to my nearby outdoor and experiential learning video. To begin, I would like to start with a land acknowledgement, as throughout this experiential lesson, the land will be utilized. I would like to acknowledge that I am situated on Treaty 4 land, which includes and is the homeland of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and Métis Nation. I acknowledge I'm a white female settler on this land. I would like to thank Mother Nature and the Creator for the environment around me. This experience has been created for grade 12 students at Balfour Collegiate. I chose Balfour for this experience because of their arts collective program. Seeing that they have a great arts collective program, I thought that this experience would be great for the students there to explore their artistic abilities through engaging with their connection to the land and what it means to be treaty people. For the outdoor spot, I decided that Wascana would be the perfect fit for this experience. Meeting spot will be at the totem pole. So for this outdoor experience, there will be 3 main outcomes that we are going to hit. So for English, the outcome CRA 30.3 and indicator A will be used. Then for Art 30, outcomes CP 30.3, indicator A will be used, as well as CP 30.4 with indicators A, B, and I. I wanted to tie in some treaty outcomes for this experience, so we have TPP 12 that will be used, along with all of the indicators. The outdoor experience will occur in 3 main stages that I have labeled as the before, during, and after. When starting the first stage of the before, students will be introduced to their guiding question. Guiding question refers back to the treaty outcome being used, which is to represent personal understanding of the concept, we are all treaty people. To begin, students will create a before, during, and after chart. Through the chart, students will be able to display to the teacher what they already know, or maybe what they are wishing to know, and how their learnings are progressing throughout the experience. Students will revisit their chart after each stage of the experience. The goal with this is to see a progression within the students' learning. The next step is to expose students to Indigenous literature. Here are some examples of what teachers could use during this portion of the experience. On the Tribal Trade website, you can find a video that explains the Mother Earth and creation story. Starting out with this video about the creation story and Mother Earth will help students understand how they can connect to the land. In order to give students variety, I think that involving a video will be useful in the sense that students may find more engagement with that. The Elders Are Watching by David Bouchard is a short poem book that displays the ways in which colonizers hurt Indigenous people's culture and land. The poem book will help students understand the harms that colonizers did to Indigenous peoples in Canada. The Shivering Tree is a short story by John McLeod that displays traditional oral storytelling by Indigenous people. To ensure the experience remains meaningful, it is important to include and consult elders and knowledge keepers throughout the process. To offer students different ways of engagement with the material, one way to do this is through the Elders Are Watching by David Bouchard. He offers a virtual aloud reading of the book, which could help students to engage with the material better. The booking for this takes place online, and you have to consult with David's assistant. Although these are just a few examples, there are many other literary resources that teachers can access and use in this process to help students understand the concept that we are all treaty people. After engaging with the literature, students will move on to the during part of the experience. Before the outdoor experience will take place, students will fill out the during part of their before, during, and after chart to see how their learnings are progressing. The during is where students will engage in their outdoor experience. The students and teachers meeting spot will be the totem pole located at Wascana Park. Prior to the outdoor experience, the teacher needs to revisit the spot to ensure it is safe, as well as the student and teacher need to discuss appropriate behavior and apparel for the experience. The students and teacher will meet at the totem pole, which was gifted to our province from the BC government in 1871. The totem pole comes from the Khoikhudal Nation. In Indigenous mythology, the Thunderbird is a noble and sacred ruler of the skies and master of the elements. After talking about the history of the totem pole and what it means to Indigenous people and their art, Students will be asked to get into partners. In their partners, students will answer 4 questions from Greenwood's A Critical Theory of Place-Conscious Education. The questions are as follows. What happened here? Through this question, students are looking at the historical sense. Students might think about how the Wascana meaning is pile of bones. What is happening here, and in what direction is this place headed? For this question, students are looking at the socio-ecological exchange. In other words, they might look at how Wascana has developed and how it continues to develop. What are you observing? Through this question, students are looking at how they see Wascana connecting with First Nations understandings of the land. The last question looks at the ethical sides of things and asks students what should happen here, what needs to be remembered, and how can we grow with this. While taking part in their walk, students are encouraged to take pictures of the environment and begin thinking about their artistic approach to the experience. Now, the after part of the experience will take place. Now is when students will also finish completing their after part of their before, during, and after chart. After gaining some inspiration from their walk, students will be able to reflect artistically on what they experienced. Now, students will answer in an artistic way what we are all treaty people means to them. A rubric and requirements will be provided by the teacher. Along with their artistic representation, students must provide a paragraph description answering and explaining their art and how it connects to the question of what does it mean for us to all be treaty people. Throughout this whole process, it is important to keep in mind that consulting with and engaging with Indigenous advocates, elders, and knowledge keepers is crucial. Engaging in open discussion with students and the teacher is important so that students feel like they can express what they are feeling and understanding in a safe space.